Guys, welcome back. This is Est Radio. I'm Carlo hosting Est and Guest this format. I'm let you introduce our big special guest of
Ciao.
today from Doncaster,
Yeah,
Mr.
man.
Yungblud.
How you doing? Whoa! Ciao Italia!
Man, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's incredible for us, for me, for us. Your music has been such an inspiration.
Oh, dude, thank
for
you.
all life. So thank you so much.
100%, man. You got such a good vibe in here.
Thank you so much.
Honestly, everyone listening at home, it's like a good vibe in this place. I'm telling you, like, got myself a coffee, got myself a water.
Maybe beers later.
Yeah, beers definitely
beers
later.
definitely.
honestly. What time is it? It's 2 o'clock. 100%.
Yeah,
that's fine.
it's always beer time.
Oh,
It's beer o'clock.
On tour it is. We like crack one at 10 a.m. Like, oh, have we got a problem? I don't know.
I don't know. It's always beer o'clock. So let's start with some questions. I would like to begin this interview with the last song,
Yes.
Breakdown.
Yes.
Tell me something about Breakdown. What's beyond this new song?
What's
about beyond the poem you wrote?
It was so interesting because I think like I'm 27 next and I can feel myself changing, and that's really fucking scary. You know what I mean? I think like you kind of, when you change in your life, you get used to like existing, and then everything around you just completely changes. And I think like I'm always the most scared when I've not got like an exit strategy or like somewhere to like run to. And I was really confused. And I wrote this song, this poem, and I never intended for it to come out. It was never supposed to come out into the world. I wrote it for myself because I get really anxious quite a lot, and I will do crazy shit, like I'll cancel plans last minute, or I won't want to get out of bed. And I wrote it almost as something for myself that I can put my headphones on and it would change my mood. I just was like, let me write something that makes me feel uplifted, because normally with Yungblud it's like heavier or more angry or more angsty or more emotional. It's never really like that uplifting feeling.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm
For sure.
saying? And it was actually my manager who heard it and was like, what's that, bro? And I was
What
like,
the fuck?
yeah. And I was like, oh, it's just this thing I wrote for myself. And he was like, we've got to put that out. I'm like, really?
Now, right now.
He's like, no, yeah, we've got to put that out. And then it kind of became this whole beautiful thing that what he said was like, if it's saving you and it's making you be able to get out of bed and be positive, then it's going to do that for other people. So
Yeah.
then I was like, you know what, that's a really good point, and we put it out and people love it, so it's cool.
How do you manage to get over your breakdowns? I think music,
I think, do you know what? Like, really been present in real life for the first time in my life. I think, like, we can focus so much on the future or so much on, like, the bigger picture of what the fuck we're supposed to mean to the world. We actually forget that all that is made up by little moments of, like, seeing your friends or drinking a coffee or taking the best piss of your life or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's all made up of that. And if you don't do that, you're not going to get the big thing that you're trying to get to. You know what I'm saying? So I just think, like, kind of like, I just try and fucking, if I ever feel anxious or scared, I'll just like fucking touch a pencil and bang it on my fucking head or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, or just be like real, like pinch myself or something. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Speaking about movement,
Yes.
me as a fan, I always see Yungblud as an us, not only a you.
100%.
100%. When did you realize the importance of have around you such a big group of people that follow you?
I think it was quite early. I remember really being afraid of showing who I was to the world, because I kind of, when I was growing up, a lot of people didn't get me. They didn't get the way I dressed. They didn't get the way I was loud. They were kind of like, that's a crazy person. And it kind of made me really be afraid to show people who I was. So I became quite introverted and like an actor in a life, instead of going, you know what, fuck this, I am who I am and whatever. I think the moment I did that, I remember we were in the fucking Netherlands. We were in Holland, right? And it was the first gig we'd ever sold out. And I remember them turning up, and I had like 8,000 followers on Instagram, like fucking really early. And I remember everyone turning up, and I didn't have any money to make merchandise. But it was the first time the kind of, I don't know, the the traditions of Yungblud kind of showed themselves. Like, they were waiting outside the venue at like 7 a.m. when we got there. They all had handmade T-shirts. They were making things. They were like, and I was like, this is sick. And I remember taking my iPhone and documenting it and posting it on the internet. And that's how everything grew, because I remember being like, yo, we got 1,000 views on our story. I was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, back then I was like, what the hell? And I kept, everywhere we went to, news was kind of spreading of this like movement, and then people started tattooing black hearts. This wasn't my idea. This came from a fan. And it was literally just like, we're called the Black Arts Club. That was not my idea. None of this was my idea. It was always so mutual. And I just kind of went with it. And every crazy fucking thing they did, like break a barrier in Poland or fucking shut down roads or whatever that we would do, I would just put it on the internet and tell people to find each other through Yungblud. And then it kind of turned into 1,000 to 10,000 people to 100,000 to 1 million to 10 million to, and it's like just gone fucking mental.
And I think that this is the most powerful thing about you, about your music, about the movement around you.
I think what was beautiful about it was it wasn't intentional. It was by accident.
Naturally, we are a family.
Yeah, exactly. It was organic. And I think you kind of see it now, and I know a lot of people almost try and copy our formula and be like, but I always say you can't, because I didn't fucking know what was going on.
It was pure.
It was literally just like, oh shit, I better film this, because I could feel that it was like, it was such a mutual thing between me and them that got caught on camera in a time where that wasn't a thing. And it was like, fuck. And I remember just being like, what, like, whoa.
Got it.
So when people ask me, like, how did it happen? I'm like,
in the purest way possible.
In the purest way.
Way possible.
Like, I say it's by accident, but everyone's like, nah, it's not by accident. It was always kind of meant to happen that way, I think. But it was all I was doing was like talking about how I feel into an iPhone, and then meeting people and allowing them to meet each other. Because when I'm not on this pedestal and I remove myself and I am one of them, I am not Yungblud, I am in Yungblud.
In Yungblud, yeah.
That's how it's so becomes so beautiful, I think, because I never wanted to be like the one with the fucking answers. I was like, this is my thing, and this is your thing, this is our thing. And it's like, that's like you're Yungblud as much as I am, or Adam's Yungblud, or Cristiano's Yungblud. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's if you fucking like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That we are one. Yeah.
I think that's what's cool, and that's what we have to work hard to make sure it never changes. You know what I mean? No matter how much bigger it gets.
And this is incredible. Talking about turning points.
Yeah, man.
On Friday, I Think I'm Okay Sad version came.
Crazy.
It's crazy, and it's a song from 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Which one do you consider in your career your turning points?
I would say,
because I think I'm Okay was an important turning point.
I feel like 21st Century Liability was the first time. I remember the start of the album, we had 20,000 followers. By the end of that album, we had 1 million. So that was like, what the fuck? I remember that came into the world, and I feel like that album's lasted. It's so funny. You know, when you look at like, when I look at like how many like records it sold or whatever, it's like, it's always been consistent. And what's sick is like, it was always an album for young people, 21st Century Liability, and it's so sick when generations under me find it, like 15-year-olds. It keeps going down to people coming of age, and then almost Weird was like an 18-year-old album, and people almost find it at that point in their life, even if they're not from my generation, and that was crazy. So definitely 21st Century Liability, but what I would say was a big turning point, I would say, was definitely 11 minutes.
Okay.
11 minutes into Parents, into I Think I'm Okay.
11 minutes was a fucking banger.
Was the craziest time. I remember when we did that, and I remember when I did that with Ash, and we kind of like, I was doing this. There was a rock resurgence bubbling. I could feel it. Like, there were people starting to play guitars again, and I was a guitar musician, but rap was the biggest thing in the world. Like, if you like walked into a radio station with a guitar, everyone was like, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It was like funny. And I remember being like, okay, like let's try and do something. And I remember Ash Halsey was such a massive pop star. When we met, but she was like she came from like emo music. She was like really into
pop
like
punk music,
pop punk,
punk
American
rock music.
punk. Whereas I was more into like Sex Pistols, The Clash, The Damned, The Exploited.
England punk vibe.
Punk. And then it was like very different because I never was raised on American punk. I like Green Day. Green Day was still like The Clash to me. You know what I'm saying? But then like she opened me up to this whole world of this thing, and I kind of brought my English thing, which is a bit more like, I don't know, a bit more like
heavy,
a bit more attitude and a bit more like fuck off. And then she brought this melody and then introduced me to like Travis Barker. And then I met Travis and I met MGK through Travis. And then we made this thing because I wasn't massively ever into pop punk. And again, by accident, we made 11 minutes into I Think I'm Okay.
And it happened.
And fucking shit happened. And no matter what people say, I think a lot of the older pop punkers always get fucking mad about it because it's kind of such a protected scene. But we just didn't mean to. It was just an accumulation of Travis Barker, pop punk king. Me, it was some fucking British kid with fucking attitude who just didn't, I don't know what the fuck I wanted to do, but I was just like,
Scream and
you know
rock.
what I mean? This incredible fucking pop star who was really into the scene kind of came about, and then Kells, who was this rapper, but then also did fucking. He
was changing in something else.
It was all the vibe. It was just like people just been like, it was. Again, it wasn't intentional, and I think that's why it worked. Because when you stumble on something that is not, you don't try to do it. We were just like, right, fuck it. What music are we gonna make? And Kells brought this kind of rappy, baggy, fresh thing to it. Ash brought this melody and this kind of intelligence to it. I brought this unfiltered energy that is unexplainable, and attitude to it. And Travis brought the fucking credibility to it. And this whole thing just happened by accident, which is weird because everyone's like, "Oh, you're a pop punk singer." I'm like, "Fuck no."
Fuck no.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know what I am, but it was cool, and that was a massive turning point, and it was beautiful because I think it allowed me to meet Ollie from Bring Me. It allowed me to meet so many dope people who were kind of so present in the state of new rock music, if you want, and then I don't know, we had such a good friendship group, and I think rock music's really exciting right now because the way I see rock music, it's like spherical. If rock music comes back, it can't just come back with one person because it's like it's becoming a scene again. It's like the hardcore movement that's going on at the minute, which is fucking dope. Like punk fucking bands like Abbiamo and the Sniffers and Idols, and then you've got fucking Turnstile and the hardcore vibe going on. And then there's like the whole fucking pop punk thing revived, and the whole fucking
new metal, pop punk.
London punk scene with bands like Lambrini Girls are fucking popping again. And then like going in, my next album is completely rock.
Rock, okay.
Fucking classic rock.
You must have thought about the iPod with your new album.
Yeah, man. It's like, honestly, it's like, I don't want any links going around because it's so fucking crazy. I don't want anyone leaking it. So the only way you can listen in my teams now, it's like, I'm giving everyone...
It's to steal your iPod.
That's what I'm saying. You got to fucking steal it from my cold, dead fingers, man.
And the new album is all rock music.
I think it's rock in a way that it's new, but it's how it used to be in terms of... Fuck the radio, fuck the everything. If it's gonna be 15-minute long songs and guitar solos and fucking
and it's alright
music breaks and instrumental interludes, then fuck it. I just think like why not? Because I don't know. I just think we want to do that. And like the first song's 9 minutes long with 2 guitar solos. And it's fucking mad.
I know Red is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's like mad. It is another like, fuck it, let's try something different that happened not by accident, but I always say it just fucking what we made. We didn't think about making it. It just appeared, and I think that's what is sick. Like Noel Gallagher said something dope like 2 weeks ago, where it's like, when you're writing songs, you're going fishing.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta fucking sit there and wait for a fucking fish to come along. And you got to catch it, or Noel's going to catch it, Bono's going to catch it, Chris Martin's going to catch it, Gaga's going to catch it, fucking, you know what I mean? Like, some fucker's going to catch it, so you got to be ready to catch it. Because, like, the fish has been like, all right, man, what you saying? It just swims up to you. And I thought that was a cool way to put things, you know what I mean?
God bless Noel Gallagher.
Fucking
forever. Forever. Tell me something about the Bludfest.
Yeah,
That
man.
is crazy, man.
Fucking off its head.
Your own festival.
I know. I just was like, I was sat at home at Christmas.
Okay.
And when I have time off, it's not very good. Because my mind is like,
It's running forward.
So I was literally just like, I want to do a festival. And my management team like, okay. I'm like, and we're going to fucking do it next year. Like, okay. And I'm like, I just wanted to make something new. I feel like festivals at the minute, especially in my country, it feels so set in its ways. It feels so, you have to fucking tip your cap to the right people to get the right slot. And it's like, fuck that. Let's like shake it up a bit. I think like the festival scene at the minute doesn't reflect how much how much money people have got. I feel like people, like, festivals are charging so much fucking money. And I just wanted to do something that was going to be like,
for everyone,
all about the people and all about making music accessible and all about blurring the lines of genre and blurring the lines of thing, and just almost just to be like, if you don't take this community seriously, we don't fucking care because we've got our own home. And I feel like what's beautiful at the minute is like meeting artists. It feels like it's coming back to that because for so long you've had to kind of fucking suck the industry's cock. And fuck that, I'm just going to bite the fucking head off it and tell it to fuck itself, because I'm like, it's all about the people, it's all about the music, and it's all about the connection between people and the music that should never, ever be fenced off or barriered or inaccessible to people, because I think someone not being able to see me because they can't afford it when I'm not the one dictating the fucking price is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? If you're an artist and you want to charge 1,000 tickets, 1,000 fucking pounds or euros for a ticket, or 800 quid for a ticket, take the fucking money off the kid yourself.
Yeah, and
don't blame it on the fucking ticket company.
As you always do something to break structures.
Yeah, just fucking
and bring something new.
And it might get me into trouble. But fuck it.
Fuck it. Listen to me, Dom. You are performing before Bring Me the Horizon.
I am, yeah.
God bless also Bring Me the Horizon
Love
forever. You have a song with
do.
Ollie.
Yes.
Happier. That's a banger.
It's a big vibe, innit?
When this song came up,
do you know what? We did Obey, and I was in America
a few years ago,
and he rang me up and was like, all right, it's Ollie from Bring Me the Horizon. I was like, fuck. In my head, I was like, fucking fair. Because I've loved that band forever. You know what I mean? Since I was like 12.
It's like my kid's band.
Suicide Season, everything. I was just like, yeah, man. And I have literally loved that band for as long as I can remember. And he just rang me and was like, yo, I've got a song for us. I'm like, I'm on my way to the studio now. I was like, all right.
Okay,
and
let's do it.
I was like, all right. And I remember cutting it that night, and Obey came out. And Ollie became a really good mate of mine and a little bit like a mentor kind of to me, because Ollie's obviously like older than me, but we're similar in the way that kind of he's like taught me a lot, because he did things his own way. He was like, all right, this is what I want to do, so I'm going to do it. And I think it might be because we're from like 20 minutes apart from each other, and that might just be the Northern English way that you just fucking do what you want, and as long as you believe it and you do it with heart, then it's beautiful. And I think we've just always stayed mates. We've always just stayed in touch. We've always kind of like, I don't know, asked each other questions. I think the best thing about me and Ollie is we don't want anything from each other. We're just like mates, and it's just always nice. Like if I ring him up and be like, yo, will you jump on this song? He'll be like, yes or no. Because I remember at the time they were making their new album that was taking fucking ever. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, bro, I can't right now. I'm really in the album. And then I sent him Happy, and he was like, fuck, this is really good. So then he jumped on it, and then we put it out. So it's just like, it's really, again, it's organic. Like, I think the world and the industry can really make things dramatic. And what I've found in the past is it's just like making music with your friends is the sickest thing ever. You know what I mean? If that's your friend in a fucking garage or a basement, or it's one of the biggest fucking metal singers in the world, it's like don't be afraid of making it. It's the best. It's why we all do it. Like if you're at home in a band, make music with your friends, even if it's big or not, because it's just the fucking.
It's the real sense of it.
It's the best fucking 5 hours of your life. Even if you got to go to fucking do a shit day tomorrow, like go and make music with your friends. Like it's the best thing ever.
Yungblud, thank you so fucking much.
Thank you, man.
To be here. Thank you for real.
Thank you, man. I fucking love you, man. I love
and
you.
rock the Milan stage.
Rock and roll. See you tonight.
Thank you.